Morning everybody, it's Bob, the Green Man from Chateau de Buff in Mesa, Arizona, Zone 10A. And after last week's wet weather, we went a week without watering and everything enjoyed it immensely. We started watering again on Wednesday. And everything's looking real good in the yard. All my deciduous trees, I'm gonna wait now. I'm gonna start watering them every 2 weeks. Once I start seeing leaves fall, that's when we're gonna cut it back to 3 weeks. And then once we're consistently, in the 60s or below, when during the day, the leaves will fall off and we will then not water at all once the leaves have fallen off. And I'll actually strip the leaves on the deciduous trees. This is a pomegranate. There's a nice pomegranate back there. Let's go take a look at that. And this beauty right here is going to be our topic for today, Barbados cherry. But let's go take a look at that pomegranate that we have as we come by the lemon here and the ice cream bin. And this is a wonderful pomegranate. This is the only one we got this year. This one is not ready yet. It is still changing colors. It looks good, nice. Nice pomegranate on there. This is the only one this year from this tree. We got an Eversweet. I think I picked it too early. It was not very good. It still needed time to ripe. But this tree, if you can see, is continuing to put off some new growth. And we'll do a video on pomegranates probably next year. But today is all about Barbados cherry. This tree, and as you can see, has fresh flowers on it and fruit ripening in different stages. All over the tree. Let's see if I can find an immature fruit. And we got some green ones here, and we got some red up in here. This guy's getting close. This tree was my first tropical fruit tree I ever planted in my yard. We planted it back in April of '01. And this is what it looked like way back then. Here's some more immature fruit. I never protected this tree. Now we are in, my house is zone 10. There's a look at the trunk. Beautiful trunk. Lovely looking leaves. I'm in zone 10. So we don't get below freezing very often. And I haven't been below freezing. But if you are in like 9B, you might want to throw a shade or a cloth over it. It's first winter. I would, just to be on the safe side. If we come down in here, take a look at our beautiful root flare. Some nice roots. And if you know anything about planting, you know that it's imperative that your root flare is above grade so that the tree can breathe. The tree breathes, the roots breathe oxygen. Now they will get oxygen from the water, but they also breathe oxygen from the air. Now this tree has been pruned once, and it has a weeping habit. I mean, if we back up here a bit, it's a weeper, but that's okay. I mean, this thing is just growing. It's drought tolerant. Now what that means is that it can take a little while, or it could go longer without watering. So for the first 3 years, I was watering this tree once a week in the summer, and then never in the winter. Once a month if we didn't get any rain. And what was happening was I was getting 2 crops of fruit a year. One with the onset of spring, summer, and one at the end, the onset of fall. Now what I figured out was that by watering once a week, we were getting flowers continuously throughout the summer, but no fruit. There's some more immature fruit here. And these cherries are big. I'm going to get to why I believe they are big. So, we put in an irrigation system, and this guy could probably be a little bit smaller. This was the only riser I had, so I'd actually rather have a riser like to right here. But that, along with our timer, allowed me to water this more often. Now, I did not realize that the root system on these are shallow and fibrous. Shallow fibrous trees, shallow fibrous root systems on tropical trees, you need to water them more. Now, this being drought tolerant never showed it. You know, it did not show that I needed to water it. The leaves were not yellowing or browning or crispy and fall off. So I didn't realize that I wasn't getting enough water to the tree to fruit. I got enough to flower, but not enough to fruit. Here's a look at some new growth here. Nice glossy leaves. Here's some older growth. This tree looks so much healthier now that I have it on a set schedule. So I changed from watering once a week, and I would probably give it, 20 or 30 gallons in that berm, to it gets watered when it was hot, over 90 degrees, it was watered every day. Here's some more fruit right here. So I was watering it every day. I was giving it a blast of water every day. And then one day a week, we were deep watering it. And we've got fruit. You can basically get fruit every month in the growing season. Okay, depending on how our November is, these flowers right here will turn in it will ripen. They'll ripen into cherries. Now, the only pest I've ever had on this tree was the first summer. This thing was covered with black cherry aphids. Or it was the first fall. I can't remember, but I remember maybe it was the spring, the first spring. Yeah, it was. It was the first spring after planting. So in 2022, I had all these black cherry aphids all over the tree, and I didn't know what to do. Well, I went and I found some ladybugs, and I put a bunch of ladybugs around here, and the ladybugs did the job. But I also think the heat did the job, because we get aphids on our roses too, and the heat kills them off. But with the ladybugs here, and there's also I've seen praying mantis all throughout our garden. I think that they're the reason that I've never seen those again. Let's see, fertilization. What do we do to fertilize? Well, I give this fertilizer. It's a citrus fertilizer, or not citrus, fruit and nut fertilizer by Arizona's Best. I give it 3 times a year: Valentine's Day, Memorial Day, Labor Day. We also give this fish emulsion to the roots once a month, March through October. And then every 2 weeks, March through October, I will spray fish emulsion on the leaves, foliar style. And we get an abundance of fruit. Now, this tree can be kept like a bush, like I've kind of had it. I was going to let it go. Let's see if we can get back here. I was going to just let it go, let it be a tree. And then I got into planting more trees. I mean, here's the back side. We've got this ice cream bean over here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it back. I want it to kind of resemble more of a tree, possibly, or cut this side so that this tree can, grow over here, because this is kind of where this tree is wanting to go. It's being blocked. But I pruned this 2 winters ago. Let's see if we can find an old prune area. Don't know if we can. All right, I found one. Here's an old prune area. And this branch was coming out this way towards the camera. And what happened was, underneath it, another branch came out, this one right here, a nice branch. There's another old pruning. Let's see, there it is right there. And as you can see, as the tree is growing, it's covering up the wound nicely. In another year or 2, you won't see that anymore. Let's talk about the fruit. Now, if you were to eat this fruit right here, that would be a little bit astringent. You kind of want to let them, to get their sweetness, you kind of want to let them turn almost purple. And sometimes that's hard to do because the birds love these trees. I swear, the birds, they can see the color red. I mean, if they see something red, they're going after it. So I'd say probably that cherry that we just saw is going to be ready in maybe 2 or 3 days. We're going to be in the 80s. high 80s for the next week. So this one right here will be ready sometime this week. This one will be ready this week. You want to let them get almost purple so they can be their sweetest. Now, you can eat them. Let's see if we can find one that's close. You can eat them. That still has a little green on it. You can eat them like this. They're going to be a little bit astringent, though. But if you like that, that's okay. By all means. Here's a little baby. There's a shot of the canopy from underneath. This tree can take full sun anywhere in the United States. Full all-day sun. In the summer, this tree gets sun from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. So the sun right now, as you see it, it's over there. In the summer, it's more this way. So just imagine the sun comes up here and it gets hit with sun all day, and we set right about here. So even in the winter, it still gets plenty of sun, even with our lemon tree next to it. We still get plenty of sun. That's the big thing with tropicals. You want them to get as much sun as they can, even in the winter. So preferably planting on the south side, which is over that way. It's going to get sun most of the day because of where the sun is. If I were to have a tropical tree over here, it'll still get sun over here, but as the months go on, that sun is going to dip further and further south into the it's going to dip further south to the horizon. That cherry right there, that red one, that'll be ready probably, but today's Sunday, probably Tuesday or Wednesday. These cherries were the original juice. They would juice these cherries for vitamin C, in like your tropical cherry or tropical fruit punch. So one cherry, this cherry right here, has 100 times more vitamin C than an orange. This little cherry, the size of, I don't know, a gumball, has 100 times more of the vitamin C than an orange. Oranges are still great. I love oranges. But that's amazing how much vitamin C is packed into that little fruit. I did research before I purchased this tree. It was a 3-gallon originally, and it's hailed as one of the easiest, most forgiving tropical fruit trees that you could grow, especially here in the valley. Like I said, you can water it once a week. It will still grow. It will still thrive. No, it won't thrive. It'll grow. It'll give you some fruit every once in a while, but you want it to thrive. So the extra water will help this thing thrive. And actually, this has grown quite a bit since I started giving it that extra shot of water. And yeah, rightfully so. Everything that you grow, water is life. Now we're not watering it, you know, we're not filling that well with the water. This gets like 12 gallons of water a day. Well, we were watering it every day, and then on its deep water day, it gets 27. And for my situation, my soil, I found that it works well. Now, I don't have heavy clay. I have a very loose, loamy clay. So I do have to water a little bit more often. If you have heavy clay soil, maybe once a week is perfectly fine for you, because the clay holds onto the water a lot longer than loamy clay. Now, if you like tropical cherries, it's very hard to grow regular cherries like Bing cherries here in the desert. Go to Tropica Mango in Apache Junction, or Seamus O'Leary's Tropical Fruit in Phoenix. That's actually where I got this. And get yourself a Barbados cherry or Acerola. Like I said, I like the fruit. I've even seen online that you can make a wine out of it. You can distill it. You can try. I tried. It didn't work out very well. But these fruits are great. I mean, you take them off. You can have them chilled. They last about a week in the refrigerator, and then they're no good. You can make a jam or a marmalade out of the fruits. Crush the fruits up. I will say that it's a put off for some people. There are 2 to 3 seeds in each one of these, and they're fairly, big. You kind of have to work the flesh off the seed. I just put them right back down in the ground here. Let Mother Nature recycle them. But that's not a big deal for me. I enjoy the taste of the fruit. And I think that'll do it for today. This tree has a special place in my heart. Like I said, this was my first ever tropical fruit tree that I planted at our house, and it has given us an abundance of fruit. And it'll give you an abundance of fruit, or maybe it has given you abundance of fruit. You grow it already. Whatever the case may be, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. Remember, as I always say, I learned something from every video that I watched. And that's why I do these videos, because maybe some people don't do something that I do, and maybe they'll try it, maybe they won't. If you have something that you do that I don't do for Acerola or Barbados cherry, let me know. Anyway, until next time, everybody, have a wonderful day.